The Carian Regal Scepter has always been my favorite staff, and likely always will be. Great looks, a nice passive effect, and sky-high sorcery scaling are three factors making this perfect for a magical playthrough. This glintstone staff is a remembrance weapon from Rennala. Defeat her and head to Enya to trade for the weapon. Downside is there's a high likelihood you won't have anywhere near the 60 intelligence required to properly use it, so you'll have to reserve this build for late game or your New Game Plus run. The first spell I used on this build was, oddly enough, an incantation. Golden Vow only requires 25 faith, and the 15% damage boost and the 10% damage negation boost is hard to beat. Next on the list was Terra Magica, boosting all spell damage while standing in the circle it conjures on the ground. Ranni's Dark Moon was a favored opener of mine. The Carian Regal Scepter boosts full moon sorceries, and it would be remiss of me not to use one. Next is Carian Slicer for all close quarters combat. Rellana's Twin Moons came in as a second full moon sorcery in the arsenal. Finally, Carian Piercer is too cool and useful not to slot into the rotation. While nearly all of my damage was done via sorceries, I did make use of the spinning weapon Ash of War from time to time, mostly for a funny finisher, and I encourage all of you to do the same. It makes for a rather entertaining clip. Start off your battle with the Flask, Golden Vow, Terra Magica, and Ranni's Dark Moon. These three starter buffs will boost Ranni's Dark Moon, and when the lunar projectile lands, it will dish out a chunk of damage and frostbite buildup, as well as reduce the enemy's magical damage negation for a time. Having a build that deals exclusively magic damage, this is a great benefit to us. Getting close to the debuffed enemy and chop away with Carian Slicer, it'll be dealing most of the damage for this run. For big damage up close, Rellana's Twin Moons is your best bet. For stunning NPCs at range, or reaching a boss from outside their attack range, thrust ahead with a good old Carian Piercer. There are a couple bosses that have 80% magic resist, so these fights will take much longer than usual. If you want to swap out to the Dark Moon Greatsword for Rennala like I did, I'm not gonna blame you. I beat her with pure magic damage a few months ago, and I needn't do it again. Now we should discuss what you carry in your offhand. Use any Sacred Seal for Golden Vow. When you use Ranni's Dark Moon or Rellana's Twin Moons, those of you in New Game Plus can equip a second Carian Regal Scepter. The boost to full moon sorceries applies from both scepters, giving us even more damage. For Carian Piercer and Slicer, switch to the Carian Glintstone Staff, since it will boost these Carian Sword sorceries. But only if you remember to switch to it, as there were many times in the playthrough where I forgot to change my offhand weapon. If you want these passive damage buffs, be aware of what you're wielding in your left. Before we get into build specifics, I want to mention that this build plays a lot like the Carian Slicer build I used not too long ago. That build was more effective, as it was built around the use of a single spell. Should you want efficiency in your sorcery playthrough, I would use that build over this one, as its simplicity makes it more effective. If you want a more varied build, I would use the one in this video. It was not as fast on boss clears, but you can get much more creative with a selection of spells, and thus I personally prefer this one. I need to know from you guys, what is your favorite staff in the game? The Carian Regal Scepter on looks alone is my favorite. However, Lusat's goes really hard with its best-in-class sorcery scaling. For more videos like this every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, be sure to like and subscribe to TheJerseySide. Our talismans for the build were the Magic Scorpion Charm, for 12% more damage at the cost of damage negation, the Graven Mass Talisman, for more sorcery damage, Radigan's Icon, for faster casting speeds, and the Dragon Crest Great Shield, for 20% more physical damage negation. The tiers for the build were of course the Magic Shroud and Crack tier, for 20% more magic damage, the Bloodsucking Crack tier, for 20% more damage at the cost of health drain, or the Opaline Hard tier, for 15% more damage negation. The Magic Scorpion Charm will decrease our damage negation, but the Dragon Crest Great Shield, the Opaline Hard tier, Golden Vow, and a heavy set of armor, such as the Scaled set, will make us plenty tanky. Oh yeah, be sure to wear the Snow Witch hat. It is a loadout requirement for any great sorcery run. And as a nice side effect, it will boost the power of Ranni's Dark Moon. Our stats at RL 170 are 60 Vigor, 33 Mind, 25 Endurance, at least 10 Dexterity, 72 Intelligence, and 25 Faith. If you have a different starting class from mine, you can allocate more points into Intelligence, but 72 is the minimum requirement for Rellana's Twin Moons. This is the most fun I've had with a sorcery build so far in Elden Ring. The Carian Regal Scepter is iconic, and buffs the elite school of full moon sorcery. Anyone wanting for a diverse spell arsenal, grab yourself the Carian Regal Scepter. Now, this is an irrelevant addendum, but I played Sekiro for the first time last week, and my sole complaint is the fact I didn't play it sooner. It's still settling with me, but I think it is now my second favorite From Software game, right behind Elden Ring. It took me 30 to 35 tries to beat the final boss, which may sound like a lot, but I am very proud of that. He is now a top 5 favorite boss of all time for me. I was sure to record a bit of the run, and have some amazing snippets of first encounters with bosses.
That gets everyone.